Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm your host for tonight, Nighthawk, and I will be here for a little bit, at least tonight. I'll be popping in and out to get into the chat, so I want to get a few announcements out of the way. So let me bring this to everybody's attention. Gremlins came in and kind of wiped me out with my data I had on here, so I'm going to be reading something different here for a disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. This channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contents used here fall under the fair use. Copyright disclaimer under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act year of 1976 allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. I don't know about scholarship. I don't think we got anybody in college in the chat, do we? All right, if we do, let me know. You got your diploma. Anyways, otherwise, statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, and personal use tips the balance of the scale in the favor of Fair Use Act. Fair Use Act, Nighthawk, furthermore, Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, believes in good faith that it constitutes fair use of any and all content. That's any and all content, including the music. Gania, including the music. Fair use of any and all content, including the music, for such purposes of criticism, teaching, parody, and educational purposes for general knowledge only per Title 17 USC subsection 107. Boy, I barely got through that right there. See, that just goes to show you what happens when you miss your notes. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to put this up so you all can remember to please follow us, subscribe, and like. And if you love it, even heart it if you might. You never know. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. And I guess that is going to do it. Oh, wait a minute. I got a couple announcements here. No, I don't. They were erased too. I got to talk to that gremlin. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I guess I should have come on a little sooner. All right, anyways, I was going to announce that currently going on right now in Richwood, West Virginia, is Dave Spink's World of Weird Monster Con 2023. And I believe he has got that old Marine that likes to carry around a big stick and a knife in the woods and hitting trees with busted branches and dry rotted branches, Wild Bill from Mountain Monsters. So that being said, that make it worth the trip right there to hang out with Wild Bill and just see if his name actually stands up to what it is in person. So anyways, then he's got several, and I can't remember all of them except for Dave himself is going to be speaking, and Serenity Jenny. So there's going to be a lot. Oh, and Stan Gordon's going to be speaking, and that's going on currently Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, the 28th, 29th, and the 30th. Okay. So, and again, it's MonsterCon 2023 at Dave Spink's World of Weird in Richwood, West Virginia. Oh, and Bear and the Night Stalkers are going to be there. Bear, Billy, Sonia, all of them are going to be there. They're great people. Love them all to death. They are like the Southern family I never really had. So they are great people to meet. So you want to go meet them. Okay. Let's see here. We are. What tonight is going to be all about. And I'm going to pop this up because I'm going to talk a little bit, and I don't want y'all to see my ugly mug. Remember, I got a radio face and a TV voice. But anyways, we're going through a couple things tonight. We're going to go through the cloning. Yes, the dreaded cloning, people. Cloning. Okay, think about that. Okay, and if that gremlin hadn't removed some of my pictures, I'd have some pictures to put up here. But anyways, we're going to go through cloning, Men in Black tonight, and what the two combined mean. We're going to go over a few of the missing and presumed, dead scientists and stuff that I found through my research. And I'm going to pop up one interesting thing too when I bring my brother Dennis on. It's going to be Dennis and I tonight, and like I said, we're going to be talking about cloning and Men in Black and that kind of a connection. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to bring Dennis on. I'm going to leave this breaking news thing up because I want to put something else up. In the meantime, I want to show you guys some pictures of some things that I found while I was doing my research. I found some interesting subject matters and I've never seen these before. Okay, so I uploaded these just previously before I came on air. These are really, really fascinating to me. One of them has to do with cloning, and two of them has to do with just weird. And I'll leave it at that, just weird. Okay. First off, I want to show you this. This is a picture of a little Shetland pony. And he's such a pretty little Shetland pony, isn't he? Isn't he just gorgeous? He is so stinking gorgeous. Look at that Shetland pony. He's so tiny. Oh my God, that thing's been eaten out of the steroid container again. Somebody do something. Oh,
that thing eats grain out of a silo.
I'll tell you what. That thing is definitely that's huge. I mean, can you imagine trying to saddle that horse? I mean, how many?
You'd have to have a ladder. Definitely big ladder.
How many guys does it take to saddle that horse?
That's one heck of a man there, Bill. Yes, sir. One heck of a man.
Yep. And then I found something Dennis, you're going to think this next picture is really interesting. I found this in my research doing the cloning and stuff. And this next picture will blow your mind. It kind of reminds me of the night crawlers, but then again, it kind of doesn't. Okay. And you'll see what I mean. It definitely looks like it's interdimensional.
Yeah, that's freaky. I saw that. Yeah, that's a freaky looking. That looks like spiritual energy manifesting to me. That's what that looks like.
I mean, look at the way it's got like the flowing whatever it is by the arms of it. I'm assuming are arms.
Looks kind of angelic, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It looks very angelic. It looks almost elemental too, to a point. It looks similar to the elementals that I've seen, but I can't get a grasp on how big it is from this picture. They may be very small. They may be extremely tall. I don't know. But
yeah, it's kind of hard to get your perception on that size perception wise. But that is very odd. That's very odd. But I like to say that I have seen actual spiritual energy look a lot like that.
That's really, really fascinating to me. I think that is really just, I don't know, just bizarre, just really, really outside of the realm of, you go outside your house and you walk down the street in the dark and out pops something like that. I mean, what are you going to think? I mean, that's just amazing to me. Anyways, and then I had one more picture I want to put up because it actually starts us off into the whole cloning subject tonight. And then we're going to probably scoot off into the Men in Black connection to the cloning and all that and everything else. You know how we go. We just kind of roll with it. But anyways, this next picture, and I'm going to get over to the chat here while I bring this picture up. And I think this is pretty interesting. Similarities are very, 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 very similar. You know, I'm almost assuming that he has been cloned over and over and over and over again. And why? I have no idea. It's not like he's, you know,
Well, there's a big controversy going on right now, William, about Cleopatra, the queen. She was black, but she was not black, by the way. She was of Greek ancestry. They say the Egyptians were black, but actually, I disagree with that. The Egyptians were more Arabic. The Egyptians talked about Nubians, and the Nubians were black Africans, you know. But they're trying to screw around with history and all that. But anyway, that right there is real freaky looking. You know, they say a lot of people have their doubles in history and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, this is very interesting, because he's been connected with time traveling also. Okay. He's been connected with the Montauk Project on Montauk Island with the time travel experiments. I thought that was very interesting. And then there was another picture I couldn't upload because I didn't have enough room on here, but that showed his wife as Cleopatra and the similarities. And I'm sorry, but if you're out in the sun in the desert, okay, even for a short period of time, your skin is going to get very, very dark, very, very fast. Okay. Your hair, God only knows what dry desert winds and sand are going to do to your hair. Probably make them all frizzy and everything. But anyways, there is that point of dark skin because the native people from South America on up here into North America, you were very very dark skinned. Yeah, they were very dark skinned.
But racial differences aside, I mean, they're talking about race here with Cleopatra and all that, which is not true. I mean, that's how they misconstrue history a lot and culture. It's an attack on different cultures. Why that's going on, I don't know. But I mean, they've done that with the Native American culture. They've done that with cultures all over the world. By the way, you did say clones, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing clones. Oh, I thought you said clowns. Oh, well, never mind. I'll see you later. Speaking of clowns, no, we won't get political now. Okay, but anyway, not too much. I am dressed. I'm in my CIA outfit tonight, William. The man from Uncle thing here. Just in case somebody tunes in, they'll think one of their guys is here.
Don't worry, I wear my sidearm.
I've got mine, but it's not on the side tonight. It's in my shoulder holster. Anyway, the clones are very interesting things. We talked about a couple of shows back about, and I'm really thinking about writing a book on this, the God game. It's a very interesting thing. What we talked about, earlier, and the clone thing fits directly into this puzzle. It's a big piece of this puzzle, I think, that we're going to talk about tonight. And it's part of their quest for godlike immortality. That's what the whole thing is about. Now, we've talked before about missing people, and I think that could be, I'm not saying that's the whole thing. I'm not painting everything with a big brush tonight, but there could be a factor in missing people about stealing actual body parts and stuff like that. We don't know,
Right.
But it would not surprise me a bit If that's not going, especially when they need stuff like that, William, for clone research. There's still a lot of clone research still ongoing, but I think it's more advanced than we realize, or they let on. They don't want us to know. It's a whole lot more advanced.
Yeah. Well, to show some of to show everybody out there what we're talking about, if you've grown up, like say Shannon out there in the chat, he is literally grown up there in Dulce, New Mexico area, and he knows about the dumb facilities, the deep underground military bases and bunkers that they have. They're all over. They're all over the United States. Okay, where they take this mixture of acid and some other chemicals, and what it does is it's the same thing they use when they mine for like gold and silver and all that and precious gems. If you have an excess, you don't know what to do with all the dirt you're digging out of the hole. You put this chemical mixture on it, and it eats it away. And it takes like a pile worth of 5 tons of dirt down to about a 5-gallon bucket.
Let me tell you this right quick, William. Let me stick this little factoid in here just right quick while I'm thinking about it. You get to my age, you got to talk when you think or you forget it. All the gold ever found. I'm talking about the Aztec and Inca gold. I'm talking about the gold that the Spaniards stole, and I'm talking about all the gold ever found would fit in a football stadium very easily. Yeah. So that means there's a whole lot more gold still down there.
Yeah.
A whole lot. We've only scratched the surface of it.
True. Very true. Very true. And and we all know the whole Abenaki story, don't we, about them having us as a race being created to mine their gold for them. But anyways, that's we're getting off subject already. I want to stay to the cloning thing. I had a bunch of maps that I had uploaded, but the gremlins took them down. And I was going to show everybody. Let me see here. Let me see what I can find here real quick to see if I find something that can compare to it. Probably not. Anyways, make a long story short, the maps that I had were like I showed on the show previously, a little over a week ago. And our brother Gerald G there pointed out to me on the map that there was this almost looked like a tunnel or a bridge that connected two huge land masses separated by large bodies of water. And that started getting me to think, but why couldn't cloning be done all over the countries, all over the world, for that matter, the known lands? Okay, I'll call them the known lands, because we really don't know what's out there, because we don't go out there in the middle of Antarctic and explore. I mean, I'm not going. You can if you want, but I'm not going. But anyways, why couldn't underground bases be connected through underground tunnels and lead out into the middle of nowhere into the national parks? Now, bear with me, and remember that story I told you guys about that national park ranger and his partner that told me specifically about that small town that was out in the middle of the national park out in the west, on the west coast, and nobody knew it was there. And here it was chock full of clones walking around. Clones learning how to talk, clones learning how to walk, clones learning how to have emotions, that kind of a
Well,
stuff.
there have been stories and legends told for many, many years in folklore and in stories of cultural stories about a vast network of tunnels that links up the whole world. This whole world is supposed to be honeycombed with these tunnels, and it's supposed to be that the government found out long ago, back when this country was first founded, that those tunnels were there and that they formed and made a link of these tunnels. I have heard that they have a secret railroad system in some of these tunnels. We're talking about super speed railways that can go, you can get on this thing and be in London like inside 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You got super rail cars or whatever you want, whatever name you want to give them, bullet
Mhm.
trains that supposedly go through these tunnels all over the world. And that the governments of the world know about these tunnels. And some of the governments have utilized them for their own secret nefarious purposes. So if you were going to do clone research, that would be a big section of it because that would be, you could be connected to all these bases, these national parks, and all these places. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Right. Yeah, it does. It really does. Now, getting back to that Obama, I almost said it. The picture that I showed of the multiple cloning of the potential time traveling ex presidente. Um, anyways, you hear that a lot. You hear that a lot being said about a lot of our political officials, about certain news people, about certain actors and actresses being cloned. And like I said, I had everything up here ready to go, and my pictures just kind of disappeared. So somebody was definitely waiting for this to happen.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, now you know
anyways,
there are stories too, William, that some of these so-called what we think are aliens could possibly be time travelers from a far-flung future that have come back through time and given us certain amounts of technology to warp and shape the history the way they want it to go. And that's where some of this clone stuff supposedly ties in to these time travelers. They're not really aliens, although some of them look like aliens. Look at the Greys; they could be us 10,000 years from now. You know, that's what they're saying. That some of these UFOs are really time traveling machines. Some of
right.
these supposed alien beings are from a far flung future, and they're seeding technology with us today to guide history the way they want it to go. That's an interesting theory, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. The whole sorry, I had a bunch of tubes of blood drawn out of me today, so I'm kind of worn out.
That's right.
Uh, um anyways, forget what I was gonna say now. Oh my god.
No, you're talking
Man,
about the clone, the Hollywood people in Hollywood being
yeah,
cloned.
they talked about like um how basically some of these actors and actresses in Hollywood are cloned. And I had a picture of it up. But I also want to get into the aspect of the scientists that are doing these types of research and development, the R&D behind the scenes that you never hear about. Okay. Um, they're coming up dead. They're
Mhm.
they're literally coming up dead. And are they cloning them and killing the original just to keep their mouths shut? I mean, do you think that being cloned, you can have the memories from the original clone?
You wouldn't be any good if you did, will you? You know, you really wouldn't. I mean, what use would you be? Like we've talked about this AI, one of its properties is that you can download. We could take William Nighthawk, download him to a machine or a clone or whatever we want to. We can download your memories, your knowledge, your personality, every bit of you, almost everything except your soul. can go into these things. Okay, so these clones are walking around. These beings, they have the knowledge, they have the personality, they have the traits, they have the psyche, they have everything except the soul. They're soulless things walking around. Okay, so they're really not. Can you call them human? You really, you're really stretching it when you call these things humans. You know.
All right. I was going to say, I saw Ozzy Sue in the chat. I was going to say, somebody needs to tag her as a moderator. And they did. They did. Gotcha, Ozzy Sue. Anyways, let's see here. Yeah, just the whole fact of the matter with cloning.
They all
You know, if you often wonder too, as they're doing the cloning, okay, are they going to want an exact duplicate of that person, the original, or are they going to want to tweak it a little bit? Are they going to want to make it 10% smarter, 10% faster, 10% stronger, you know, 10% life longer, you know? I mean,
yeah, you don't want it to wear out. You don't want it to. I mean, you put a lot of science into this. You don't want it to go too quick on you. You want to get your resources out of it. You know,
right.
definitely that makes sense. And you know, there's rumors that when Putin here a while back supposedly appeared in the Ukraine, was walking around talking all this, it really wasn't him. We know Hitler had doubles, and that's the next thing to a clone, okay? Mm-hmm. To find people that look like you or via plastic surgery to make them look that way. Well, that's still going on. That's an ongoing. That was not Putin the first time in the Ukraine, driving the car and all that. That was not him.
Right.
So that's a clue right there, William. It tells you this is an ongoing thing. And think about, we talked about this before. The CIA have had these masks, that they could look like whoever they wanted to with them and all that. So cloning would be the next obvious step for these guys. Okay, you got to look at it that way.
Yeah, that's good. You said that about the mask. Let me see if I can find that. There was an article that I found too. Let me pop this up to begin with. This is some of the scientists that have been found dead. I mean, look at it. There's 40 to 45 scientists there that have been found dead, that have worked in the genetics and manipulation and the cloning microbiologist sciences, and it's amazing to me how that many people. Why is that not in mainstream media?
Well, here's the thing about it. If they were involved in clone research and they were willing to talk, that's what got them killed. You know what I'm saying? That's what got them rubbed out, whatever gangland term you want to use. Got them snuffed out or whatever because they might have been willing. They knew too much. That's the point.
Yeah. I just think that's sad that somebody would take somebody's life for something so, I don't know. It depends on what they're using the clones for. Are we going to get into a clone war like Star Wars? I mean, I don't know. Here's
that's
some
weird,
of the. Here's some interesting
information. You remember the clones in Star Wars? They all looked like one man. They moved like one. They moved like one man. They thought like one man. Perfect army. Think about that.
Yep. Speaking of army, that's a good intro, Dennis. Thank you. This is a gentleman that is supposedly a U.S. Marine who spent 17 years on Mars, authorized to reveal the truth. Basically, he is a cloned Marine Colonel Kramer who worked 20 years and backup SSP ordered to disclose. Special ops programs ordered to disclose it. Now, I don't know about you. Honestly, I don't know about the whole Mars thing and us having a colony there, and
That's a
having
little far fetched, yeah. But
yeah. I mean, to me, it is.
I mean, I could understand a moon base before I would understand a Mars base thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to also kind of understand too, though, why would Elon Musk want to go to Mars and colonize Mars if it was already done?
Right.
So, and he's got to have the inside track. I mean, look at SpaceX. I mean, he's got to have the inside track. So, but let me see here. Let me see what else I have here. Yeah,
Well,
the
some
new
of this,
reptilian.
some of the stuff that was released by I can't think of his name. He released. I'm not talking about this last boy that released stuff, but he released some secret stuff that's supposed to be about off-world technology and all that, bases and all that. That's not the same guy though. I can't think of his name, but
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Now, what do you think this whole, say, cloning technology and these underground bases and stuff? Like, here's a good picture of one, for example. Um, you know, what do you
that's
think?
what I was saying. Look at that for just a minute. What I was saying. What if those guys are really not aliens from Alpha Centauri? What if they are human beings from 50,000 years from now? That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me say this about this. Now, there's supposedly rumors, about Dulce. They had a secret war, between these Greys and then the United States soldiers. You remember so many soldiers got killed, and they took over several levels. That's the interesting thing. That was supposed to be clone research involved in that as well.
Right. Yep. Hey, Strange Land. Good to see you on here, Strange Land.
But William, when you come to really high technology like cloning, you got to ask an important question: where did we get that knowledge at? Where did that originally come from? We didn't just think it up.
Well,
I believe we got it from somebody. I believe it was given to us for a reason. You go back to the Nephilim, which were screwing around with human DNA back in the book of Genesis. You got to wonder, what the heck is going on? Where does this knowledge come from?
Right, exactly. But one thing that I wanted to put out there too to everybody and to see what they all think is just, if you take a look at the Sumerian stuff that they have, the Sumerians, the Anunnakis on the tablets look an awful lot alike, don't they? I mean, they do. They look an awful lot alike on the tablet, So
there's a lot of influence. I think there's a lot of influence between them. We got to look at it this way, okay? They had scholars back then, just like we do today. People doing research, okay? And they had ancient scrolls. So there's some crossover going there, definitely. Wouldn't you like to be able to get just a big handful of the scrolls in the Alexandria Library before they were destroyed? I would love to go through some of that stuff. We're talking about ancient Earth history here,
Yeah, true, very true. There is so much to talk about when it comes to the connections and stuff with the cloning. What part do you think our military plays a role in the whole cloning? I mean, we know that our government has to know something about it, and that other governments are doing it too. But and it leads me to think back to like pre-World War or post World War II, excuse me, when the Russian scientists are trying to develop the guerrilla army for warfare, for hand-to-hand combat. Where they use the DNA of the ape and try to genetically crossbreed it with the genetics of a female and all that, and a man, to see, if they could, have some kind of breeding going on to make a super army.
Well, William, the military is your muscle. That's the government's muscle. You can't walk without your leg muscles. You can't do anything without your arm muscles, and that's what they are to the government. Okay, that's their muscle, and they're very important. They're very high up on the military industrial complex, which Eisenhower talked about. They're the heart of it, really, because without your muscle, you can't take over the world. You can't, be a tyrant. You can't tell people what to do. You got to have muscle, and that's why it's so important that I believe a lot of these lines run directly to the military, even from the industrial section, because we know that the industry and military are definitely in bed. They're bed partners,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your muscle, and that's very, very important to them, because without that, they can't do anything, really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. True. Very true. Boy, this chat is way behind. Man, StreamYard has got to get their act together.
It's heating up tonight.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk and look at the thing, too, at the same time. It's kind of like chewing bubble gum and walking.
Here's a good there's a good comment here by Vixen Doe. The Germans were doing that too in the concentration camps. Yeah.
You know what one of Mengele's main programs was? And that was twins. He was studying them like crazy. Why? Because that's a natural clone. Okay? If you have a twin brother, he's really your natural clone.
Yeah,
that's nature's way of cloning. And that's what Mengele was so interested in. And you have to ask why. Why was he so interested in that? There's a reason.
Yep. Yeah, there definitely is a reason. There is definitely a reason. Now, getting into the whole, I've always loved to connect the dots when it comes to stuff like this. And, you have the cloning, you have the technology, you have the government cover up and all that, and the corporate cover up. You have the cloning going on. There's been reports of clones and stuff being seen out in the middle of the national forest in small little like makeshift towns where these clones are supposedly being trained and educated. I wonder what connection the whole Men in Black thing has to do with it, and then the reptilian thing, because that there is something going on there that they're going to have their hands in it.
Well, like we said before about the Men in Black, I think there is an inhuman factor to it, but there's also a human factor. And I believe some of that human factor, that these are government agents working for the government and whatever auspices they may be. But some of the real Men in Black may be inhuman being entities of some sort. Whatever you want to say, if you want to say they're alien or demonic or interdimensional, whatever the case. So really, when you talk about the Men in Black, you got to look at two things going on here. What are they really? Even J. Edgar Hoover was interested in the Men in Black. He said, "Find out everything you can for me." And the trail ends there. The paper trail ends there. What happened and what did he find out, or did it cost him something we don't know about? But anyway, that's part of your muscle there. Those government agents are your muscle too. They're in the background. They're the shadow soldiers, that you don't see. The spy network, whatever name you want to give it. Whether they're CIA or NIC or whatever the case may be, whatever they are. I think that's part of the Men in Black persona, and I think they know about the Men in Black, and they're trying to, and they're banking on that image because it's pretty well known now. It's been known since Albert Bender ran into these guys. He ran into what I call a more inhuman Men in Black, but it would not be any surprise to me at all that if this cloning program was connected with the Men in Black, because a lot of them are enforcers, Will. They are enforcers, and they shut people up, and they run herd. They're supervisors, you might say. Like they run herd on a lot of this stuff. So I'm sure they're involved in that, definitely.
Sorry, I had to address an issue in the chat.
Yeah, the interaction with twins to each other. Yeah, I've studied a lot of twins. I've known several sets of twins, and they can do some freaky things with each other, and they can be miles and a country apart from each other, and have the same gift. It's spooky the way that works. So they're almost like one person in many aspects. You are close to your brothers and sisters biologically. But when you share a womb and you're all, especially if you're identical, you think alike, you become like one organism, and that's basically what happens with twins in the womb. They split apart, at the very beginning, they divide into two, embryos. And so that's a very interesting thing. And no wonder Mengele was so interested in that. That had to be the beginnings of the cloning program to a certain extent. So it might have started with the Nazis, you know?
Okay. Listen, the chat is for discussion amongst yourselves and all that. I don't mind. But when it gets into the political aspect of it, or I start seeing something with a lot of exclamation points, that tells me somebody's getting heated. Okay. And I'm not going to tolerate that in my chat or any chat that I moderate. Okay. So let's keep it civil, polite, and just have fun with this. Okay. And maybe we all might learn something. All right.
Keep it on a civil level.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, it could have all started with Nazi programs, or even maybe before then, for all we know. But that's an obvious smoke signal there,
Right. Exactly. Let me see. I'm going to get back to the pictures that I have here. There was one. Let's see. Oh, I did find that one on this that you said. I did find the old CERN 666 one there. Yeah, I found that out of my archives.
It would surprise me if CERN's not involved in a little. They're involved in just more than opening portals and supposedly colliding stuff, atoms together. They're involved in a lot more than that. Yeah.
And did you know they're building a bigger Hadron Collider?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they just started construction of it. They're building a bigger Hadron Collider.
Yep.
Now, why would you need a bigger one?
Uh-huh. Well, you need more power to do what you want to do, evidently. See, what the whole thing with the Hadron Collider is that it's got to go so many miles an hour. It's got to speed up so fast. We're talking faster than a bullet. We're talking extremely fast up because it has to hit and collide to be able to make these atoms separate and do all these things they supposedly won't do. That's the public thing about it. And we don't know what goes on, really is going on in the background to this. But let me tell you one more thing. If you were to open a portal or a doorway to another dimension, you would start in a circular fashion because that's the way the universe works. You know what I'm saying? you would start wanting to generate electricity in a circle or generate some kind of energy in a circle. Think about it. That's probably what's going on with some of that stuff. You have to, when they tell you, oh, we're doing this, you got to look elsewhere because they're not really telling you the truth. They're not telling you what's really going on. They're just giving you the smoke screen. Oh, there's the MIB. I know those guys well. I know those guys well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tend to think that they're a bunch of malarkey, but that's just me. Me and the old Presidente think they're a bunch of malarkey. So let me see here.
All of this is so deep and dark, William, that it's hidden under so many layers. I find this incredible when I do my research on these things. You hit layer after layer after layer of this stuff. Where is the real kernel of truth at in all this? It's buried deep, very, very deep.
Gemini Moon, that's a good movie. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Yeah, that talks about cloning. Yeah. Actually, cloning has been talked about. Now, I'm not going back to the Nazis right now, but cloning has been talked about from the 60s on up till now. It's been a known thing publicly, since the 60s.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, and to Sherry, to answer your question there, yes, I don't think they're going to be satisfied until they blow up our planet. I really,
you know what they remind me of, William? They remind me of a bunch of little school kids with a box full of firecrackers.
Yeah.
They don't care what they do. They're up to have some fun, and they don't care what happens.
Yeah. Let me take that off of there and go back to the chat. Okay. Sorry, I got to navigate. I got to navigate. I got to navigate all this while I'm doing everything else. All right. Okay. Oh my God, a new collider. Yes, they are, Raven Creek. They are bigger, better, stronger, faster, and better to blow us all up with. So,
they need a bigger bang.
Yeah.
For their money.
Or to completely in another dimension that is really not liking humans. So.
But like I said earlier with the cloning thing, where is that technology coming from? You got to ask where a lot of this stuff started. You go all the way back to the mid 50s. Okay, time I was born, the mid 50s. Where did this technology come from? They had television. They had television in 1942. By the way,
right?
It didn't just come on in 1950. 1942. They actually had telecast in Britain in 1942. Okay, so where is this stuff coming from? That was right in the smack dab in the middle of World War II, by the way. Okay, you got to say, what is the origin to this? That's where the real answer lies.
Yeah, I kind of think I'm under the impression that with the whole cloning thing, you know me, the way I think, I kind of think everything's connected, and everything is connected eventually. Just got to figure out how it's connected. But the whole cloning thing, compared to the time travel thing, and compared to the Hadron Collider thing, it's all got a connection. And then you have the Men in Black, that are sent in to cover things up and to intimidate people and da 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 da, And I'm sorry, but the only way I can show that I have no concern in that is I would say check my eyes. You see any concern? No. I don't have any concern. And what I am concerned about is that we are destroying our world. The only one we have that we know of, okay? And we're slowly destroying it by building all these weird devices that science feels that they've got to investigate the the God particle and all that they call it, and now it's black matter, and sooner or later it's going to be, oh, let's check out that black hole out there a million light years from Earth and bring it close to us, and then we all get
Oh,
sucked
William,
in.
William, it comes down to this, like I mentioned earlier, the God game thing. Okay, I hate to keep coming back to that, but that's what it is. We've always been that way. Mankind is always look at the natural resources that we have already squandered. Look at the wildlife and animals that are gone, never to come back again, unless they're cloned, of course. Uh, Look at all this stuff we've wasted. We've just destroyed for no good reason, except we wanted to do it. And that's what the halogen collider and all this stuff is about. They just something they want to do, and nothing's going to stop them from their playing their little game. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have squandered the resources. If we destroy this earth, where are we going to get another one at? And I mean, you don't have a spare. We can pull a spare out here. That's it. If you're going to get another one, you got to go way out of the neighborhood, okay, to get one. And they're talking about living on Mars. You know how incredibly hard it's going to be to live on Mars? To live on Mars is going to be like living at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know how hard that would be to live. I mean, it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
And so you're when you talk about this Earth, they ought to be more concerned with taking care of this planet than destroying it. But that's mankind for you, you know.
Yeah. Guptas, we're gonna give Adolf Hitler the benefit of saying the word malarkey. Yeah. So and the benefit of causing all the malarkey, but we're gonna have to give who the
I like
honor
the
of bringing the
I like the
word back
I like
from
the
the 1970s.
I like
So
the Irish word for that, shenanigans.
yeah, shenanigans. Yeah,
Yeah.
weren't they a rock group?
Yeah.
uh, let's see. His power still reigns to this day.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're talking Adolf Hitler. Yeah, I don't believe
Mhm.
it. I don't think Adolf Hitler has any power.
There will
Not
be
in
a
this
fourth rank.
domain.
There's a fourth rank coming. Okay, it's coming, but it won't be him. His
Yeah,
spirit will be back, though. Don't worry about that. Definitely, the spirit of that man was the Antichrist spirit. It will
yeah.
return. It's in this world today. It's here now, right now with us. It never went anywhere, actually. It just went underground for a while, but it's still here, and it's gonna come out in the fourth ring. Just
I
wait till
had
you see
I had
that one.
somebody ask me a question the other day about, do I think we live in purgatory? That maybe the CERN and the Hadron Collider has sent us to some kind of like a universe where it's almost like a purgatory, and all of our combined nightmares are coming true.
I believe, William, and I talked about this on my last show, Demonology Today. I believe that CERN and other programs like it have opened the doorway to hell. And I believe they've let some of these evil forces out into this world, which is why you have such a rise in paranormal and evil activity going on. I believe they've opened the doors to hell.
Oh, here we go again. All right. Well, Come on, mods. Somebody else I'm putting in timeout. All right.
Yeah, I've heard that there was a collider.
I never heard that. I knew there was one in Tennessee and one up in Minnesota, but I never knew that they had one down in North Carolina.
You know, you got to look at that this way, okay? And here's, like I say, you got to kind of push aside the smoke, see what's really going on here. Why would you need so many colliders if you're just going to smash atoms? That just does not haul the load. You know what I'm saying? There's something else going on with that. There's definitely something else going on with that. Just without not smashing atoms together. Come on.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, and I know they've got them all over the world, different sizes and stuff. But you know, I know they have them in Japan, and the heck, they might have even had them in Ukraine, but never politicized it at all. Never caught it, caught a glimpse of it. But you know, this stuff has been going on for too long.
You know, they issued by the way, since you mentioned Ukraine, they issued the United States government issued a proclamation the other day to Russia. There's something in Ukraine. They told Russia did not touch it. Don't you mess with its technology or whatever it was. We don't really know what's going on here, but there's something in the Ukraine. I don't know if it's biolabs or what the heck it is. But they said, they come out and said, they kind of make out like it's nuclear technology. It's not that. There's something else. I think Russia had to read between the lines on this. They know what they're really talking about. But they came out. That was an unusual statement from the State Department. Come out. There's something in Ukraine and Russia, you better not touch it.
That whole situation over there is unusual. You know, I mean, that whole area is unusual. What's going on right now? You know, they say there's more UFO sightings in that area now than ever before.
Wherever there's war, whenever there's war, you'd have that, William. Just like in World War II with the Foo Fighters. You know, wherever there's activity, we get UFOs. That's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Very true. You know, I wonder, you know, where they are getting all of these soldiers from that are fighting in this war. You know, there's just something about that. There's something about the whole makeup of that. I'm gonna tell you something.
It's just like everything else in this world. You got to ask what's not being said here, what's not being told, the story that's not being told. You know, many years ago when I started in paranormal research, that was the one thing I learned right off the bat, William. Find out what they're not talking about, what they're not telling. That's what you really got to look at. You know, not just what they want you to know. You know what I'm saying? And you got to ask this question: where are all those fighters coming from? I guarantee, without doubt, there are foreign actors on the battlefields of the Ukrainian war. Okay.
Okay.
How many, I don't know, but there's a lot out there. There's a lot of foreign, and I'm not going to say what country, besides the Ukraine and the Russians. But you don't hear about that because it's not publicized. They don't want you to know about that. It's what you don't hear about, what you don't see. That's what you got to go look for.
Right. Yeah.
They are, let me tell you this, Warp. There are rumors that they would like to change the very atmosphere of this planet, and they could do it little by little. And you're using chemicals like the chemtrails and all that you see, using chemicals seen and unseen to change the very atmosphere of this planet. Why? Why would they want to do that? That's another interesting question.
Yeah. You know, you're gonna get me going on this. Because y'all know my theory on this. Those of you that have owned this channel for a while, I say they're trying to make this planet more of a planet more suitable for a certain alien race than
Reptilian.
it is, yeah, than it is for humans. Um, that's just a theory. I mean, you change the atmosphere of the air, you change the brightness of the sun and the darkness of the night. You change the weather patterns. All that is a form of manipulation. You make the waters rise a little bit. Um, you know,
And yeah, and you know something, William. Let me say this: uh, there are certain forces that have a hold on this planet. Okay, they've got a hold, but not hard enough of a hold that they want. You understand what I'm saying? They've got a beachhead, but they haven't established it. They haven't really got this world exactly where they want it, and that's what you're talking about right there. They're doing actions to make this more of their world. You understand?
right.
That's what's really going on.
Yeah, let me check something here real quick. I'm going to see if I can find it on my phone real quick before my phone dies. I doubt it. I doubt it. Let me see here. There was a map that I had on this phone that showed some of the Hadron Colliders around the world, but now I can't find it. Imagine that.
That's the way it goes. Something you're looking for. If you're looking for it, you can find it. That's the way it goes. It does with me anyway.
Huh. Okay. Got you, Tombstone. he'll know what I mean here in a minute. uh, anyways, yeah, the I was looking at a diagram that I had drawn up about the deep state and all the so-called points of it, the fingers and the arms of the deep state, and I had on there. I did a lot of research on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and they are literally like pretty much the arm of the deep state when it comes to having things happen around the world. Them and the what is it? The oh god, I can't remember the name of it now.
So you
has
know
to do with has to
the
do with
very
the
rich,
foreign money.
very rich, and the very powerful, like Klaus Schwab, and some of these others. You know, they're the ones financing and bankrolling a lot of these things. Their companies are. They're in bed with them, definitely.
Yeah, they are. It's pretty sad when the super wealthy and the rich can dictate pretty much the way things go in the world. It's like we talked about before. We're the ants, and they may be the boot, but their boot's only going to get a couple hundred ants compared to a colony of millions, if not billions. So I don't know. I don't know how this whole play of the world thing's going to play out here um, over the next even 6 months. I mean, do I give ourselves a life expectancy of 6 months? Honestly, no, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. Um, that's just my opinion. The way things are going, um, that and 50 cents might get you a phone call, but do I think the world is falling apart? Yes, we all know the world is falling apart. We all know that there's government programs. In fact, I'm going to put a list up of some of the government programs that I've found out through research and stuff. Um, just take a look at this list.
There's the Bilderbergs, yeah. Monsanto. Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Agenda
Yeah,
21, yeah.
let me get that comment off of there.
The royal bloodline. Send me that if you get a chance. I'd like to put that in my paranormal file. That's a good list there.
Yeah, you got Bohemian Grove.
Look at it. The Pentagon lost $2.3 trillion. Wonder where that went.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Climate change, animal agriculture, GMOs, cannabis cures.
Right now, William,
Ruffalo.
one of their most active programs is climate change. They're not doing, I want to tell everybody out there listening right now, okay? Do not believe for 1 second this is all about saving the world and the earth. No.
It's not.
This is all about power. That's what it is, people. And that's what climate change is all about. This Green Deal, whatever name you want to call it, that's exactly what it's all about. It's just another way to rule over people and obtain the power that they want. They don't care about the world. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything like that. Only their power. That's all.
Yeah, that's just anybody wants me to send them that in Messenger, I'll send it to them in Messenger. I got no problem with that. But yeah, I came across that today, and I started thinking to myself, there is so much we can talk about. There's so much we can talk about on these podcasts. So
put that on your Facebook, William, and everybody can get a copy of it. Put it on your Facebook.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can do that. But yeah, there's so much going on right now.
Something else.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's not even all of them. I mean,
look at all these companies, William. Look at all these companies, William. The banks and everything. All these companies. Look at Disney, McDonald's. Yeah. All these companies are getting into social stuff now. It's not the fact anymore. Hey, buy my hamburgers. No, I'm going to change your culture. I'm going to change your lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And and that's why it's on there. Vote for your lifestyle. But I also didn't get on there. Project Bluebeam, the digital currency. Cloning. I don't think did I put cloning on there? No, I didn't. Did I?
Gemini Moon, you came to the right place. We do love our conversations. We have some interesting ones.
Yeah, I didn't put HARP on there either.
Yeah, that's true. That's HARP, yeah. Climate change, GMOs. That's an interesting list. It's all part of the matrix. It's all part of the network. About molesting children. 1984, it's already here, people. 1984, definitely. Everywhere you go, there's a camera looking at you now.
Exactly.
And facial recognition. AI is getting into face. You hear about that, William? AI is getting into facial recognition. They'll know you wherever you at.
Yeah.
They'll know where you are.
Yeah, well, they know where we're at anyways, to tell you the truth, Dennis. All they got to do is track our cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. All they really have to do is track our cell phones. They monitor. It's like I've said a million times before. We have not. If anything, slavery hasn't ended. Slavery has gotten worse. Because
it's worse.
They've dumbed us up with fluoride in our drinking water and our toothpaste, to the point where it makes our brain calcified, our pineal gland.
And everything we eat, William, everything we eat has been tampered with. Everything.
Yeah, everything. If you take and you put like from your if you have like city water or something, try this little trick, okay? There is a chlorination device you can get at Lowe's, okay? And it'll test the chlorine by putting a tablet or a drop in the water, and it'll turn the water orange in the glass, okay, to see if there's any chlorine in it, okay. Now every city water plant has chlorine added to their water, post and pre filtration, okay. So trust me, that's one area of expertise I do know.
Here's the thing, William. Where you gonna get any other water at?
Yeah.
Think about this a minute. You gonna go out and dig you a well tomorrow? Are you going out in the backyard and dig a well, William? No, because that's too hard. You have to dynamite and do all this stuff. And look, even if you get well water, it's probably contaminated.
Right. The fluoride is also added to the water, but they usually pre-treat with potassium permanganate, which makes your water purpley blue. There's all kinds of different treatments. There's ferric chloride to filter out the heavy sedimentation stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of chemicals added to drinking water. You guys have no freaking idea how chemical treated your waters are that you drink out of, okay, or that you cook with.
And William, some of these chemicals, even if you boil the water, it doesn't kill them.
Well, and that's what I'm going to get to. With the chlorine test, okay, when you put that tablet or that drop of testing agent into the drinking glass of water, and have 3 glasses set up, have same size glasses, same level of drinking water from a faucet, okay? Cut yourself a potato in half, okay? And in fact, better quarter it so it's flat on the bottom, okay? And it's a smaller piece, and I'll show you the strength of this. The first glass, you want to drop the agent, the testing agent, in to see it turn yellow, okay? And it'll turn yellow because of the chlorine, okay? No matter what the chlorine level is, it'll turn yellow, okay? Because it'll tell you that there's chlorine in your water, okay? Then you go over, just take 2 fingers, and even just momentarily put your 2 fingers into the cup of water and pull it out, okay? Drop the solution into that glass and see if that water turns yellow. It doesn't. It will not turn yellow. You know why? Because your body absorbed all that chlorine from the water through the skin.
Like a magnet.
Yeah. Now do the same thing with the potato. Okay? Put the potato in the water, pull it out, and then drop the solution to the glass to see if it turns yellow. It won't turn. That's the same water that you're washing food with and your face with and brushing your teeth with every day.
You're taking a shower with.
Chlorine causes cancer. Chlorine is a big cancer producer. Okay? That's why they try to keep the parts per million down to a certain level so people don't get cancer right away. Okay? But yeah, chlorine causes cancer. And when it's ingested and it's consumed over a period of time, you're going to get cancer.
It builds up. It builds up in the body. Let me tell you something. I've talked about this before. Water has a memory. Water, actually, this has been proven. This is scientific proven fact. Water has a memory. Okay? And when you put chemicals in it, like I said earlier, if you boil it or try to treat it, it still retains some of that stuff because it has that memory of it, So you really never get completely clear, clean water out of this situation, no matter what you do. But once they contaminate it, that's it, You can try to treat it so it becomes drinkable, but it's a very, very hard process to do because water has that memory. It has an ability to retain that memory of that thing. That's really true. Not to a great extent, but to a certain extent it does. That's freaky. But like you say, this chlorine, that's one of the properties of this chemical. It just goes your body like a magnet. I mean, it's just drawn. You know, if you want a perfect chemical to do something like that, chlorine would be one of the top ones that would do that because it really, there's certain things you don't touch that will be absorbed in your skin. You have to be very careful. That's what they invented rubber gloves for, by the way. You have to be very careful on what things you pick up because you don't ever forget your skin on your body is an organ. Okay, just like your heart and your liver and everything else, it picks these things up. It can get to you through your skin. No problem.
Right.
Taking a
Yeah.
shower in this stuff. Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they are, and you have to wonder what is all this doing in our water and used that we bathe with and that we wash our food with and all that. The whole purpose of fluoride and chlorine, I believe, and some of the other chemicals, and that's used in the treatment of water. And this comes from my professional experience, okay, because I was a water plant operator. I've been licensed and all that, so I know all about it. And plus with the cancers that I've had, I know about the cancer connection. So anybody that doubts me can doubt me all they want. What if they were doing all these clones of all these people? And you never know. It could even be you and I. I mean, they have mosquitoes that go out and give shots now. So why not? Why not have a mosquito take your DNA and they go clone you? But which the pictures I had up of that are down too because of the gremlins. Anyways, but what if they were making all these clones to replace us, knowing that what they've done to the water through all these chemicals and stuff is killing us faster?
Well, that too, that would make those clones less acceptable to these chemicals too. That would be messing around with the DNA of these clones. These clones have got DNA, like you and I. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they can be manipulated. So they would make them, like you said earlier, stronger, faster. Like they used to say about the Bionic Man. We can make him stronger. We can make him faster. They would definitely do that with their clones because, like I said earlier, you're putting a lot of technology and money and time into these clones. You're not going to make weak clones. You're not going to make them that's going to use up real quick on you. You're going to make something durable.
Right.
That's true, Margio. Electromagnets do work with our body. Everything affects us. We are living organisms. I'm going to tell you something. Let me give you a quick illustration, okay? One year, a few years back, I had a tomato plant for summer. I was going to grow some tomatoes, And that summer, we didn't have much rain, so I didn't use rainwater on them. I started using tap water to water the tomatoes. And, tomato plants take a lot of water. They're like 90% water, They soak it up, buddy. And, in 1 month's time, I killed those tomato plants. They died. And since then, I've had tomato plants. I use only rainwater on them, by the way. But I got to thinking, if it kills tomato plants, my God, what will it do to you?
Yep. Yeah, Warp. Yeah, that's, and the best thing that they're doing over there in Africa right now, and certain parts of Africa. I'm not sure if it's going to be in some of the countries over there, like the Sudan. But some of the countries over in Africa are getting the wells put in. And it's great to have the wells put in, and it's great to have water filtered for sedimentation and stuff like that, and for any type of parasites and stuff like that that could be in the water, microscopic parasites. But don't let them chlorinate the water at all. Don't let them put fluoride in the water at all. because I'm telling you, it has taken a human race to the point where it's extinct almost in a certain lifetime. And if they don't do something about it soon enough, we may not have to worry about overpopulation of the earth. I don't believe we have to
That's,
worry about that anyways.
well, you know,
So,
they say something is affecting the ability of the human race to reproduce. That could definitely be one factor right there. Uh,
well,
I think
here's this factor.
Elon Musk come out the other day about the population is falling in China and India at a vast rate, and Japan too. I think
Yeah,
something's
Japan.
going on here.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. Now, some people in chat, you can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. I still respect you and everything. But anyways, sorry, I just listened to something. I was listening to something. Anyways, what I was going to say was what's making people the way they are nowadays. One is going to be, like I said before, when you put people in confinement, okay, in a box, in a corral, they're gonna yearn to get over that corral fence to get out and see what the world is about. Otherwise, being stuck in that corral, they're only going to know that their world is only so far. Schooling. Okay. Now, some people will say, oh, God, here we go, talking about education and all that. It's not even really the fact of the matter is, but did you know that more colleges are seeing college enrolled students that can't even read or write at a 7th grade level?
Oh, they don't even know how to communicate anymore, William. They don't even know how to spell. They don't even know how to construct a sentence that makes any sense anymore. Oh no, yeah, I believe you 100% on that. But
what do you think? What do you think the fluoride is causing and the chlorine is causing? It's causing the dumbifying effect of basically making everybody more susceptible to being controlled.
well, that's exactly what you said earlier, William. Okay, water is life. Okay, the further out west you go, people realize the scarcity of water in this country. Okay, I think there's been a big thing on some of the Native American reservations with water and the government bringing in water. And the water, I showed one woman running out of the tap, and you could take a match to it and light it. Think about that a minute. I mean, you light your water on fire. I mean, we know the further out west you go, the more scarce it gets. It is. It is scarcer out west than it is in the east. But let me say this: water is life. You can get people with water because we cannot live without water. Okay, pure and simple. We can't exist without it, and they know that. That's the perfect weapon. Think about it. The perfect way to control people and do what you want to. If I were going to attack a country, that'd be one of the first things I'd do. I'd go after their water supply.
Yeah. True. And I don't know if some of you have realized this or not. I mean, I'm sure some of you have, or maybe even all of you have. But a lot of the train derailments and stuff that are happening lately around water supplies, those chemicals going into the water supply. Now, the one thing I did learn in all my years in the water industry is the fact that the best filter you can find, and any special forces ops guys will tell you this too, that if you're in a swamp and all that, or you're bunked next to a swamp, go about 10 feet away from the edge of the swamp and dig down into the ground. And you're going to find the best drinking water you're going to want to find. The same with any type of, like if you live along a river, especially if there's a very, very sandy embankment. If there's a lot of sand in the embankments and stuff, and you dig 10 feet, 15 feet away from that down into the ground, and you get that pool of water up, you got the best drinking water there is, because that sandy embankment is the best damn filter that Mother Nature ever made.
It's made that way. That's the way nature. That's natural filtering that nature makes. You can do that out in the desert. You can take a handful of sand and cut a cactus open and squeeze the juice out. Let it go through the sand. You got some good drinking water right there. Just that sand. It's got silica in it and all that stuff. So it's a natural filter. Yes, Raven.
Yeah.
They know where to get us at. They know our weaknesses. If I were going to go after a country, I'd go after the water, the electricity, the roadway system, and the rail system. I could take that country down very quickly, and that's what's going to happen. You wait and see. When the attack begins, that's where it's going to go to. And look at all the attacks recently on electrical systems in this country, substations and stuff.
Yeah, they do curse us, Creek Charms, with chemicals. Then you got like Joseph says there with the chemtrails. They got us coming and going. I mean, they obviously have had science in their pocket for a long time and haven't disclosed it to the volumes of people out there that are being dumbified every day of our lives.
This dark science is going to be the end of us all if we're not careful. I mean, dark science plays this. This is their power play. Okay, this is their weapon. This is what they use. Dark science, and that goes in with the clone.
It's always been that way. I mean, just look at look at history. I mean, even back in the days of Socrates and Aristotle, there were powers in control that wanted to keep the masses dumb, keep the masses dumb so you can control them. Yeah.
If you don't enslave people, you can't have power, That's what the whole game is about. That God game I talked about, that power and immortality. They want to be the gods of this earth. That's what they want. And they'll stop at nothing to do it. You don't matter to them. Your family doesn't matter to them. Your country doesn't matter to them. Nothing matters to them but the power.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted, did you see the actual picture of that? Where it went from when it went from what was it? What was it? Was it 1463 or something like that? It
actually gone down instead of going up. It actually it's gone, sea level's gone down with that. That's strange. That's contrary to everything they're telling you. Oh no, the ice is melting, the seas are going, they're going to flood inland. If you're living 300 miles inland, you're going to have a place by the ocean.
And you know what's funny about
Al
that?
Gore. Al Gore stuff.
You know what's funny about that too, everybody, is the family and I, we were up there several years ago. I'd say probably at least 17 years ago. And I see the same stones and rocks sitting next to that Plymouth Rock that were there the exact same time that I was there. So, they can't say, oh, we had to level it up and build it up because of the water coming in. They can't say that at all. So,
and think about it. Think about a glass of water with ice in it. You let it sit there all day and the ice melts, but it doesn't spill over. Okay, and they're telling you this does happen, but it don't. Go to try it yourself tomorrow. Put you in a glass of ice water on the table and watch it melt, and it doesn't overflow. Concentration takes the excess air, the water into the air. You know, that's the way nature built things. Okay, um, but they're saying, oh, well, the ice is going to melt in the ocean and it's going to flood everything. That's a bunch of malarkey that you said earlier using that word. That's crazy. Well, that doesn't surprise me, Mario. Really, even the rainwater is contaminated because it's coming through clouds of what? Chemtrails. But I think it's a little less contaminated than actual drinking water, what they're doing with it, but it may be pretty contaminated too. I don't know. I've never tested rainwater. How about you, William?
No, actually, it rained here today, and I was actually looking at the rain hitting the windshield of the vehicle we were in,
It's
and
kind of oily looking. You notice
yeah,
that? It's kind of
yeah,
oily looking.
it doesn't look like it looked years ago when I remember when I was a kid. How it used to just
It
hit and
used to
roll
hit the
down the window.
windshield and run down, and now when it hits the windshield, it stays there. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, 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 definitely.
It's
Yeah,
not right anymore.
yeah, it's definitely not right. There's something going on to the point where you know, it's like we always say, Dennis. You got to question everything. You have to question everything. I mean, there comes a point in time when we, as a human race, need to stand up together and tell the 1% or whoever's in charge, that
That's
listen, we're
it.
sick and tired of the bullshit, and let's get this, back to the way it used to be. What can we do to
And you
help?
know what? And what I said a couple of shows back, William, we have the power. We can stand up and do this. If we will only exercise that power, we can hit them where it really hurts, right in their wallets. We can boycott
Yeah,
this stuff. We can show them we're not slaves to them anymore. But people got to have the guts to stand up and do it, though. That's the thing. That's the point. We've got to exercise that power, just like when they tell you to vote. Okay, and I've often wondered about really are we wasting our votes on some of these people? Okay, but they tell you to vote, you still got the power to vote. Okay, every vote counts. That's true. And if you don't exercise that power, you got nobody to blame but yourself. You know, don't come complaining to me about Joe Biden if you didn't vote for somebody else. You know, that's
yeah,
that's what it's all about. And if we hit them where it really hurts, and their money is their power, you understand that? That's the lifeblood of their power is their money. That's what it's all about. It's been that way since the beginning of time. That's true.
see
Let's
what
get out
that
there.
is?
What's that?
That is chaga. That is chaga. Okay, that
Uh-uh.
is what everybody is talking about. Okay, it goes on the side of trying to show it on the light here. There we go. It's kind of got like a tan color to a reddish rust color
Oh yeah, yeah.
inside it, and you break it up. It'll pull the toxins out of your body if you make it into a tea. And who really knows a lot about that is um, Dark Woods and let's see, Strange Land knows about it. Yeah, in fact, here we yeah, there we go. See,
Well,
yeah,
I want to answer
Strange.
Sherry Potter there. Let me answer Sherry on that. Sherry, there was a thing here a while back, a few years back, and since I was in law enforcement, where the officers would leave the radar detector down in their lap, and when they wasn't using it, holding it up, you had to hold it up to track radar on cars, speed limits, and all that. And they would leave it laying in their lap. They got testicle cancer. because of that. And it wouldn't surprise me if these cell phones. Oh, that would surprise me a bit. If cell phones
Oh,
are not causing a lot of this stuff. Yeah.
well, cell phones are going to cause brain cancer and brain tumors too. And I believe that's.
I don't care. I don't carry mine around with me. I don't know about you. I don't carry mine around unless I'm going outside or something. I'll stick it in my pocket. But most of the time, it lays on the table in the house. I don't, unless I'm going somewhere. I don't walk around with it all the time.
Well, the mass that I have on my brainstem that they say is non-cancerous currently, that's squeezing off my spinal cord, is a result. Probably they're like 85% positive it's a result of using cell phones my whole life. Not my whole life, but the majority of my life. Because when they first came out, when they first came out back in 80, 88, 89, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And they were those big clunky fold up ones
with the antenna.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I've had every flip phone. Yeah, I've had all the flip phones and everything, and between that and the white brain cell matter, it happens. We all can't live forever, so.
Well, I don't think. Look, even our animals are getting cancer now. Dogs and cats, on a much more larger scale than ever before. That tells you something right there. Okay, it's their environment. We are products of our environment. Okay, and these powers that be know that. Okay, you got to live in your environment. That's it. Where else are you going? They know that. And that's why they're screwing around with it so much. That's where a lot of their power lies. That's good, Sherry. Pray that she stays that way, definitely.
Yep.
I never heard that. It can be hard to get that thing up your nose there, Joseph. But you go ahead and try that if you want to.
Yeah, you go ahead and try that there, Joseph, and tell us how it works. Okay?
Let us know how that is.
I got one better for you. I got one that says, that cell phones can clear your hemorrhoids up too. So
that would definitely go a good ways into there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, the oceans are full of these dang plastic grocery bags. They're finding them in whales and dolphins. They're choking to death on them. They say there's a big thing off the coast of where I live, South Carolina. There's a big seaweed thing, and it's not just seaweed, it's trash. And it's as big as a doggone island. I think it's big as the state of Texas or something, out in the ocean. My gosh, we're destroying this planet, and nobody gives a rip. And here's what really bugs me about it, okay? And I'm not going to get on a preaching rant here, but here's what really bugs me. They go on about climate change and Green Deal and all this junk, but they're not addressing this problem the correct way. They're politicians, you understand? They're not going to do it. They don't think like we do. They're not doing this in a horse sense kind of way, a practical way. They're going about it the wrong way. You don't just force people into doing these things and hope for the better. You got to correctly do these things, and they're not doing that. But they don't really care about this planet. That's a big bunch of bull. Don't buy the lie. They don't care about this planet. They don't care about you or nothing. They just care about power. That's it. That's what it's all about. Go ahead, change your profile picture there, will you?
Yep. I saw it.
But anyway, that's the hypocrisy of all this stuff. They come out and say, "Oh, we care about mankind. We care about everybody. We don't learn all this." And that's just a bunch of crap. They don't really care. It's all about the power, and that's what they want. And when I'll tell you this: when you get to a certain point where you're no longer a taxpayer and you're not working like those poor stiffs out there do every day, paying the taxes, you're no longer an asset to the powers that be. Okay, you're expendable. Then I'm sorry to tell you that, but you're expendable. They don't really give a rip about you. They don't even care about the veterans that come back from wars and all that. Once they get what they want out of them, they don't care that much for them anymore. That's the whole problem with this whole thing, the hypocrisy of it. That's what really sticks in my craw. You know, the hypocritical way they go about this stuff. They'll tell you to your face, "Oh, we care all about you," while they stab you in the back of the night. You agree with that, William? Are you still there, William? He'll be back. But anyway, that's
Yeah, I'm
true. I
still
mean,
here. I'm
they
dealing
stab
with
us.
something right now, but I'm
They're
still here, but
stabbing
I'm
us in the
dealing with
back.
something right now. So
Yeah, they're stabbing us in the back. Yeah. But I tell you what, uh, this has got to all end, and it's going to end in a bad way because we're not going to stand up and do anything about it. That's the problem. And like I say, I'm not telling you to go out and get your guns and go shoot up. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you can do it the peaceful way, the right, smart way, and that's where your money goes. That's what it's all about. The money, money, money. That's the god of this world, by the way. And if you do something with your money and use it the correct way, you can fight these forces. You don't have to buy what you don't want to do, what they want you to buy. You don't have to. There's somebody forcing you. They don't have a gun to your head making you do it. They want you to. You got to have this. You got to have that. You can't live without this. You can do other things, and you can. And it starts small. Like I've said before, it starts when you stand up and say, "I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that," and really honestly mean it. Don't just think about it one day. I'm talking about it every day. And it also begins with acts of kindness for other people, and empathy and consideration for other people, and small acts of goodness and kindness that you can do wherever you can. This helps all of us. Okay, not just one little segment. This helps us all. It's a combined humanity thing here. Okay. So that's the way you start. You start with the little things, and they make a difference. They really do make a difference, and that's how you begin. But that's how you fight back against these forces of darkness in this world. Whatever name you want to tag them with, they are darkness. They are negativity. They're not the light. They're not the positive things. And we as people of light, we need to stand up against these things and show them, hey, we're not going to take this. We're not going to be your slaves anymore. You know, slavery is a horrible thing. I mean, it can go beyond just physical chains. They could get you for your life. That's the way they will do. So you've got to actively begin to work in your mind. It's in your mindset. You got to say, oh, got to start thinking about that. It's just like a bad habit. If you have a bad habit and you want to change it, then you got to start working on it. It's never going to change until you do, whatever it may be. It's just like if you were smoking and you want to quit smoking. Well, nobody's going to come and knock the cigarette out of your mouth. It's you. It's up to you to stop. Whatever the situation is, it begins with you right at the beginning. And that's what we got to think about. That's what we got to do. Or we're going to lose. We're going to be the losers. And the thoughts of the losing is far too bad to contemplate. That's why, William and I have said so many times on these programs, question everything. And we're not saying that in a cynical sort of way, okay? We're telling you that in a way to safeguard yourself. The more information you have, the more knowledge you have, the more you look and do the research yourself. Okay, don't take our word for it. We could be wrong on things. Yeah, we're only human. Do the research yourself. Go out and find the truth. I put something on Facebook the other day. Okay, just a little quote of mine. You're gonna believe in something. No matter what, you're gonna believe to believe. But just make sure whatever you believe is the truth, or you're gonna end up looking like an idiot. So
Yep.
believe it when you find out the truth. Believe it and hold it for your own, and use that against these things.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, I had to deal with some things. Some people being stupid. That I had to block. I've had to block more people in one night tonight
Never have.
than I ever have.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, some people know how to step out of line really quick, don't they?
they know that certain words will get you blocked, and I don't play games. I'm not one to mince words.
Well, here's the way I
And
look at it, William. Okay, if you don't have respect and you don't show respect, then you don't deserve any. You know what I'm saying? And when you cross that line with me, and you get disrespectful, that's where I say, okay, that's it. You cross the line.
just going back through the comments to make sure I got all the little freaking
That's fine.
twits and twerps and
Do what you got to do. But there's no room for disrespect here anywhere for anything. Okay, that's the number one rule. And I mean, I'm not talking about just disrespecting me. I mean anybody I know. If you're disrespecting the whole program or whatever you're doing, it's not going to cut it. Okay. I blocked a lot of people off my Facebook over the years because and they get on there, and not just me. They get on there, and other people they call them idiots and all kinds of things. I'm not going to put up with that stuff. You better show respect. That's it. And some people think they're being funny when really their humor has a dark side to it, and it's a downgrading kind of a humor where they really it's a disrespectful humor. That's not funny. That's not being. That's being trying to be a comedian. Okay, well, if you want to be a comedian, go on the stage or something. Don't hang around here with that stuff. That's being just. Humor is okay. It has its place, but you can step over the line with that humor too. You agree with him?
Yeah, true. Very true. I agree. I just don't like child antics when I'm trying to get the word across the way things have changed and trying to forewarn people. And some people want to do juvenile stuff, and
they need to grow up.
They just, they just need to realize that they're messing with the wrong individual, and they're not going to tolerate it.
It's like that woman said, "Well, who's got time for this stuff? We ain't got time for that stuff."
That Warp 2 came back, and the Warp 2, it said he made another attempt because he was hacked by the government. Another did too. I just do not them off, and I'm just saying someone's definitely out to.
Okay. All right.
The 300. I spent $300 stuff for cleaning water. So they're being very specific. Okay. Maybe your sister, whoever. Okay.
Thank you, Ozzy Sue, for taking care of that last one there. It got past me. I would make a a definite notation of the names. And if they pop up again on here, or anybody else making comments like that, that'll be the last time.
Well, that's what happens when you deal with the public sometimes. You're going to run into something like that. I have.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different names in the chat tonight, so we're just gonna keep an eye on them and see what happens. If you've been on your best behavior tonight, then that'll be fine. But if you haven't, then you'll get blocked off of every format that we have. So, but I'm done playing. I really am. So I don't have the time or the energy to waste on stupidity, and that's exactly what it is stupidity and juvenile tactics. And I might just have to contact some people's backgrounds and do a little bit of counter
research on it.
Yeah. So I'm sick and tired of it, you know. Here I am trying to do a good thing, and no, can't even do that without people being douchebags. So
Well, that's the way it goes with these forces in the world today, William. They're not going to play fair. They always going to fight dirty. You can always depend on them to do that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to leave it at that, and we're gonna cut this off right here, and we'll pick it up in the morning. And if I see any crap going on in the morning in the chat, I'll deal with it then too. So, but we have our monitors out there now, our moderators and stuff to monitor the chat. And like I said, thank you to my wife, and thank you to
that's a very valuable service, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
I'm a moderator on several sites and all that. So you got to have moderators, definitely.
Yep, definitely. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the morning. Okay. Everybody, take care.